Namaste. 5th standard video 7. Welcome to our English class. What happened in the last class? The fisherman and his wife quarreled with each other. Why did they do like that? What happened? The fisherman took that mirror to his house and he asked her wife to look at that mirror. While she looking at the mirror, she saw her own reflection. So she thought that was her mother because she didn't get a chance to see her own face before that. So she thought that was her mother. And the fisherman thought that was his father's face. He also didn't get a chance to see his own face. So both of them quarreled with each other because she argued that that was her mother and the fisherman argued that that was his father. So they started quarreling. What happened after that? Just listen here. Page number 12. Look at the picture. See the fisherman and his wife. The fisherman's wife snatching the mirror from his hand. So listen here. The man was annoyed and snatched the mirror from her hands. The fisherman snatched the mirror from his wife's hands. He looked at it again to assure himself that it was his father. So he looked at it again to assure that that was his father. There is something wrong with you. You are going crazy. I will never show you this again, he said. Then he snatched the mirror from his wife's hand and he looked at the mirror to assure that that was his father. And while looking at the mirror, he saw his own reflection. Then he said, "There is something wrong with you. You are going crazy. I will never show you this again," he said. What did he told her? There is something wrong with you. You are going crazy. I will never show you this again. This is my father. Like that, he said. His wife tried to grab the mirror from him. Hearing this, his wife, he also wanted to assure that that was her mother. So she grabbed the mirror from his hands. His wife tried. She tried to grab the mirror from him. The fisherman held on to it. The fisherman held the mirror like this. They started battling for the mirror. Both of them started battling, fighting, quarreling for the mirror. What happened? The mirror fell down on the floor and broke into pieces. While they're quarreling, while they're battling, while they're fighting, what happened? The mirror fell down on the floor and broke into pieces. They stopped fighting and looked at the pieces. That time, suddenly, they stopped fighting and looked at the pieces. The pieces reflected their images. What happened? Suddenly, the mirror fell down and it broke into pieces. That time, both of them looked down. So they saw. That time, both of them saw their own face, their own reflection. So some pieces reflected his face. Some pieces reflected her face. Isn't it? That is the end of that story. That time they recognized that that is not her father, her mother, and that is not his father. Isn't it? That is their own reflection. Why they can make out? Because she know her husband's face. Every day she is seeing that, and husband knows husband familiar with her face, because every day he sees his wife's face. But they never get a chance to see their own face because they don't have mirrors. Then when the mirror fell down, it broke into pieces. Many pieces are there around. Both of them looked down. So some pieces reflected his face. Someone reflected her face. Isn't it? So he can recognize her face because he is familiar with her face. And she can recognize his face because she is familiar with his face. So at last they get an idea. They realized that was a thing that shows their own reflection. Isn't it? Understood? Now, so finally both of them realized that is the thing, a wonderful thing that they got. That one was a wonderful thing that reflected their own face. Isn't it? Understood? That is the end of the story. But at last they realized that is not her mother and that is not his father. That is only the image, reflection of their own faces. Isn't it? If you have any doubts, call me. Now listen. Look at page number 12. Just try to describe these two pictures. Try to describe these two pictures. And read 5 times. Once more, read with me. The man was annoyed and snatched the mirror from her hands. He looked at it again to assure himself that it was his father. There is something wrong with you. You are going crazy. I will never show you this again, he said. His wife tried to grab the mirror from him. The fisherman held on to it. They started battling for the mirror. The mirror fell down on the floor and broke into pieces. They stopped fighting and looked at the pieces. The pieces reflected their images. That's the end of the story. Now, my dears, underline the new words. What are the new words? Crazy, grab, battling, fighting, pieces, reflected. Once more, look at here. Crazy, grab, battling, fighting, pieces, reflected. Copy these words to your notebook and write down 5 times and send it to me. See, my dears, tomorrow onwards, all of you send the words personally, not in our group. The words I will send through our WhatsApp group, but the answers you must send personally. Okay? And what is the? Copy these new words and read the passage 5 times. And now look at the question. What do you think the fisherman and his wife did when the mirror was broken into pieces? you think? Your opinion. While listening the story, why? After reading the story, guess and write down your idea, your thought, your imagination. After broken the mirror into pieces, what did they do? What is your opinion? Just write down. And the answer I will send through WhatsApp, not tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Tomorrow you just try to answer this and send to me personally. After that I will send the answer. And that's all. Okay. So my dear, once more read with me. The fisherman snatched the mirror from her hands. He looked at it again to assure himself that it was his father. There is something wrong with you. You are going crazy. I will never show you this again, he said. His wife tried to grab the mirror from him. The fisherman held onto it. They started battling for the mirror. The mirror fell down on the floor and broke into pieces. They stopped fighting and looked at the pieces. The pieces reflected the images. That's all. Okay. So my dears, describe these two pictures and describe the picture. Only one time is enough. Describe this picture. First assignment, describe this picture. Second one, write down the new words and find out its meaning also. Third one, try to answer this question. Then first you answer this question and send it to me. After that I will send the answer. Fourth one, read the passage 5 times. And if you have any doubts, call me. See you.